If you're from the Northwest, raise your hand.
CLAB, New Bedford, travel, friends, family, and home. What do those mean to you? To me, they're the most important things in my life. One of them I question though, what is home really? A place, a feeling, an emotion, all three? I'm 14 years old and I've moved at least 6 times in my life. So to me, home is less of a physical place and more of a feeling. I feel at home when I'm around friends and family rather than when I'm at the physical place at which I live. CLAB is a family I've been a part of since I graduated 4th grade. Ms. Bourgeois, the principal of CLAB, is like a parent to the CLAB community. She's taught us about the world we live in and watched us grow. The first year I walked in, she said that I, among my other classmates, was one of the best of the best. At home, from the Perrys, the Jupins, Mary, and the CLAB staff, I've gained memories, happiness, and a feeling of home I will never forget.
What CLAB means to me. It is a place where kids from all over the area come together and meet as strangers, but leave as friends. 8th grade is when we all start to become a family. We have gone through a lot, and we would fight for this family if the need ever arose. Everyone has a core group of friends that they hang around with normally, but we can talk with and we care about everyone in our family. By 9th grade, we knew that our time together was almost over. This would be the last time our family would be together as one. We all know that we will try to stay in touch no matter what, but we will never be a whole family again. Knowing this, I want to say that it was my honor and my deepest pleasure to spend this past 5 years with all of you. So, thank you. I want my class to know that no matter where life takes us, I will never forget the family that we have made here, no matter what. In closing, I won't remember everything that I was taught, but I will remember the people that have been important in my life. CLAB is where my family is, and nothing will ever change that. We may not be perfect, but what family is.
Swipe or no swiping. 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 Jerry live. Jerry live. Jerry live. Jerry live. Jerry.
You have flap. It doesn't have that. Okay. Sure you sir.
So, wait, where's the scalpel? You can grab the scalpel.
You can cut them a little bit more right down in there. You use your scissors. Get your scissors. If you want to.
Now we're going to do 2 3/4 strips. That's 3/4 strips.
All right, guys, toes toward the edge on the left. All the way to the edge, all the way to the edge. Let's roll down to waist. Ready? Roll. Now slowly out and in.
You guys, and then come down the channel towards the bridge.
Oh wait, go around. What's the left side?
Go, yeah, just go cut between these two, the sailboat and that motorboat, and go just make a big arc, if you can.
Undetermined stage of life.
Oh, he doesn't know what it is.
They might 11.4 feet. Stage of life.
So now the motion made us put those hard hats there.
Get it focused. Let's just put it here. Oh, chicken.
Just clean them off. Alright, so those are the candles. There's one more candle. If the wind is coming across us, right like this, where do you don't want to go?
So, if you're doing like that, it might hurt.
Go! Look at that.
Nice job, cat. See, when you switch it down, it's just
Saucy Rabu. Okay, Brady, good. Let it go.
They all break. You gotta hope that they all break.
Go first.
It is my pleasure now to introduce to you the 38th Mayor of the City of New Bedford, the Honorable Jonathan F. Mitchell.
Oh boy, every time I speak at this event, I'm reminded of something I did that I can't explain myself for. I have to apologize, by the way, Mrs. Bourgeois, for showing up a little bit late today. I know that punctuality is a big thing at CLAB, and the only excuse I can offer is my own definition of inertia, which is a body that is fast asleep, tends to stay fast asleep. So I had a little bit of a slow start this morning. But in any event, I am so pleased to be here. I love CLAB so much that I sent 3 of my kids to CLAB this year, so which is starting from 4th grade to 9th grade, and I couldn't be more proud as a parent and as the mayor of all the achievements of this program over the years. CLAB, as you all know, is a summer exercise. You're not in school. You don't have to be here. But you're here because you want to be here, because your parents think it's important, because they know that there are opportunities for you to become better adults, better in the sense of you'll have an opportunity to know a little bit more, to pursue things that you might not otherwise have the opportunity to pursue or might not think to pursue. It's really it's a center of excellence in the city, and we're all about striving for excellence in everything that we do. As a city government, as a city, we want to be better than everybody else, and that's what CLAB is. It's better. This is something that isn't offered in other places. It's special here in New Bedford. We're very proud of it. So I just want to thank all of you for another great ceremony. I'm going to go take my jacket off. No, I won't do that. But I do appreciate all the hard work, and guess what, kids? Summer is just about over.
Don't say that.
Sorry, I wanted to end on a high note. Woo. Anyway, thank you, everybody.
And our next speaker is a former South Coast Woman of the Year, Dr. Pia Durkin, who is the superintendent of the schools, attending her 4th CLAB graduation. Dr. Durkin.
Thank you so much, and this is one of my favorite events. I want to call attention to first the students here and the commitment they made and how lucky they are to have had a family member, a teacher, possibly a contributor that made it possible for you to be here today. You are the future scientists, learners, educators, engineers, all the wonderful things that you're going to bring to not only this community but to the world at large. And I want to thank you for that commitment, and I know how wonderfully Ms. Bourgeois ties in the standards that we want all our kids to learn in science to what you are doing during the summer. That is the connection that we're doing in building an excellent school system. I want to also thank the families who are here, who understand how important it is to enrich our children's lives beyond a 10-month school year, and how thrilled they are to make sure their children attend and take advantage of every opportunity here. I was late this morning because we launched this morning the new Hayden McFadden School, which opened with our children entering, and it went very, very smoothly with the help from a lot of people, because to build an excellent school system, it really does take a team. With a mayor and a school committee who is committed to excellence for every child in New Bedford Public Schools, your children, our children, to a facility staff that doesn't leave any stone unturned. And Al Oliveira is sitting very comfortably now, but up until about I think about midnight last night, he was sweating up a storm at Hayden McFadden to make sure he and his crew were going to get that school ready for the children who entered today. And I want to thank him publicly for all he does. You can see how we are under construction here. Am I right, Ms. Bourgeois?
Oh, yes.
And one of her talents and skills, she doesn't have her hard hat on today, was managing that while the Hannigan School also went to school every day here. And we're looking forward to that new opening as C-Lab expands and our schools have the buildings they need for our children to learn and grow in. So I thank for all of you, the community, the people who put this program together, the students with their commitment. Have a wonderful afternoon. Celebrate your successes and go to the person who made it possible for you to be here today and who made it an enjoyable experience. A teacher, a parent, a contributor. Thank you so much and enjoy it.
We are fortunate to have as our 48th keynote speaker, Mr. Mark Rasmussen, who has dedicated his career to restoration and protection of Buzzards Bay. Mark has led the Buzzards Bay Coalition as president and Buzzards Baykeeper since 1998. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Mark Rasmussen.
Good morning, everybody. Before we start, you guys have been really good. I've been sitting here watching everybody. This is a tough, long morning to sit here in a hot room. And so thank you for your attention and for all the work that you do all summer long here and for this morning. It's truly an honor to be here. As the mayor mentioned before, C-Lab is a program that truly sets New Bedford apart among Buzzards Bay coastal communities. Working for the organization I do that involves so deeply in coastal environmental issues and education, we work in 17 cities and towns, and not a single one of them from Rhode Island to Cape Cod has what you have here at C-Lab, and it's really very, very special. So you all should be extremely proud, and what I love is whenever I talk to somebody who's associated with C-Lab, you are proud. You should be proud, and I can hear it in your voice, and I can see it in your attitude and how you carry yourself. You should be very proud of C-Lab. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Buzzards Bay Coalition, we are a nonprofit environmental advocacy organization founded in 1987 by Mr. George Hampson. You just heard about George this morning. George is actually one of the 3 founders of our organization back in 1987. We are dedicated to the protection and restoration of Buzzards Bay, including all the waters here that surround New Bedford. Since 1998, we've been headquartered here in the city. If you've seen our office with the big Save Buzzards Bay banner across from State Pier, we've been here, and we've been here at C-Lab for the past 5 years, building on a partnership to provide hands-on exploration programs on New Bedford beaches for 4th and 5th graders throughout the school year. I hope a lot of you here have seen our instructors and our educators over the past few years. But beyond education, our organization works in bay science. We do water quality monitoring all around the bay. We advocate with towns to clean up sources of pollution. We work to preserve important bay habitats and waterfront lands, like at the Acushnet Sawmill that recently opened last year in Acushnet. And we do all this with the help of 17 environmental professionals, 2 of which who are C-Lab grads. We have 2 C-Lab grads, and I always like to say 15 others who wish they were C-Lab grads. The second story comes about 2 years later. I was working full-time for the Coalition now and loving it. I spent my weeknights at local town board and commission meetings learning about all aspects of environmental law and how the land development projects could impact the bay if not done correctly. During the days, though, I'd help with other Coalition projects, including our water quality monitoring work at the time. And then, back then, we were doing all of our lab analysis work at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, and I was there a lot helping them analyze samples in the lab and do whatever else they needed to be done. One day I was loading coolers full of water samples, probably from New Bedford. We took all of our samples from over here over to the lab in Woods Hole. And the scientists in the hall were all talking about how they had lost a member of their crew. They were about to leave on a 4-month research trip to Antarctica. Somebody had gotten sick and couldn't go. They were sort of in a panic and needed somebody who could be available with no strings, could just go do this thing in a few weeks. They looked at me and of course I said yes. So I traveled to the bottom of the world, lived in a tent studying marine science, one of the most amazing experiences of my life, and one I actually got a chance to repeat. Just like George, you go to Antarctica, you somehow end up going back, I think. I traveled back a few years later for a research cruise off the Chilean coast on the peninsula. And a side story that I have to share, that since George's family's here, on that first trip to Antarctica, you fly from New Zealand, you land on the Ross Sea, you land on the ice in a military transport plane. And you get out of the plane, and I had this, my first, oh geez, what have I done to myself moment. I opened the window, and it's bright white. It's what you'd imagine. There's sand blowing glare. They have a rope line. There's a rope tied to the plane to lead to a transport truck, sort of a big high, like an 18-wheeler you have to climb a ladder to get into, big track machines, because now we're going to drive over the frozen sea to the U.S. base at McMurdo. I'm going to grab this rope. I'm thinking, what have I done to myself? Here I am at the bottom of the world. And so we go single file. I'm feeling ahead. I get to the track machine. I put my hands on it, put my hands on the ladder, and I look through the rungs of the ladder, and there's a Save Buzzards Bay bumper sticker on the track machine. The same one you'll see on cars all around New Bedford. It had actually been put there by George the year before because he knew we'd be back and he wanted us to have a sense of home. So it was a really nice story. That research project led me to my master's work, which had me looking at comparing regimes of cleanup from the Chesapeake to Buzzards Bay, to the Black Sea, to the Baltic Sea. And that work continues for me today. As I mentioned earlier, I now get the chance to help out at the Stockholm International Water Institute, continuing to work on these sort of international comparisons of how bay cleanup should work. How I was in the right place at the right time, and when asked if I wanted to take on a new challenge, I said yes, even though I mostly didn't know what I was doing. But they didn't happen by chance. You know, there's something else common in those stories. I didn't only say yes, I had somehow put myself in the right place for the opportunity to come along to have the chance to say yes. So this is my advice to you today as you move on from C-Lab and into challenges at school, in the community, and later in your career. Find the places and situations where really interesting things are happening. Be curious. Focus on the things that excite you, and then put yourself there. Work hard and say yes a lot. There's a phrase that fortune favors the bold, so be bold. Every one of these things you can see happening here in our city are challenges that are happening all around the world. They are just as serious here, they are just as intellectually challenging, and they're just as important as any other place. So New Bedford, these waters, these people here are remarkably special and deserve our minds and your hearts. So I'm blessed to be working on the bay I grew up on every day. I'm so happy New Bedford and Buzzards Bay now has all of you to join in this work of environmental stewardship. Thank you, Mrs. Bourgeois, for this great opportunity. Thank you for C-Lab for making this all work. And again, congratulations to all of you.